Hello, and welcome back to another Punishing Grey Raven stream. It is I, Sippy109, who also goes by the name of totally not a MIKU, which I should actually make more MIKU related videos anyway. That's for a future day. Anyway, welcome back to another Punishing Grey Raven stream, where today I'll continue with more of the story as soon as I get my little rewards. Get my rewards like a good goyim. Even Alpha's already telling me to go to bed. Jeez, I haven't been on that for long. Oh, what's this? Oh, I already done that. Already done that. Oh, I've completely forgot about that. It's forcing me under the tutorial. Yeah, I totally forgot this existed. I probably should go through that. What's the other things have I forgot? I mean, that I've done. That was easy. That I've done. Apparently I didn't get the reward for completing it, even it's completed. Strange. Yeah, I've finished these challenges. Aced it. Done those. I mean, I've finished that. I haven't done this. Finished this story, I won't be streaming that one. But I'll be streaming the main story. So far I already got a good chunk of the main story done already. Which is good to see. Alrighty. Oh, hang on a second. Alright, sorry about that. Let's continue with the story. So sit back, relax, put your feet up if you can, and we'll continue this pretty controversial story what I've heard so far. In a sense, he's transforming into an ascendant. That's why the plume frame is starting to absorb the punching virus. Ion beams and lasers strike from afar, giving you a small breathing room. Still, your line of defense keeps retreating backward without Lucia's support. This unusual ambush has caught you all by surprise, suffocating you like a tightening net. I need to confirm everything is running smoothly. Indeed it is. My boost Punishing Grey Raven volume a bit. And yes. That is when you hear an unfamiliar voice in your ear. This is Discord from the Purifying Force. The proto-power armor is ready to launch. Please stay away from our landing area. Power armor? Yeah, I've only read about them in textbooks. A suit of power armor fully covers the wearer's wearer's body and requires an assistant AI to function. With the punishing virus ravaging the world, an AI like this is more likely to be murderer of its own wearer instead of the assistant. This is why combatants on the front line only equipped with a simple exoskeletons instead of power armor. The supply crate lands on the ground, pushing the surrounding corrupted back. You open the lid and find a black armor inside. So this is when we get our Chan armor. Live, covering fire. On it. Both Lee and Liv have apparently received the same message. Blue and white beams fire alternately, buying you time to put on the armor. Unequipping the simple exoskeleton on you, you open the back of the armor with your access. Entering it, you can hear the mechanisms behind you activate and close. You are fully encased. Identify commanded clearance. Identified, pairing with commanded VOD. Communication access activated. Energy access activated. Analyzing circuit activated. Power enhancement module unlocked. Weapon module unlocked. You regain your vision after a brief moment of darkness. You hear a cold voice in your ears. Low concentration of punishing virus detected. Initiating Proto-Omega filter. Dear user, please issue your commands. Mark the locations of the corrupted. Tactical interface opened. All the corrupted before you are instantly tagged. Even the ones that are hidden from your field, a few are marked with bright red outlines. Quickly browsing the list of available weapons, you take out the energy pistol by your thigh. Energy pistol armed. Initiating recoil absorption program. The spring in your vibrance shifts slightly, supporting your optimal firing position. You are surprised to find the armor knowing your shooting habits. You see a blinding muzzle flash, but you do not feel any recoil at all. The energy beam pierces the core of corrupted, taking it out in one shot. Aim, fire, aim, fire. The power armor leaves behind heavy footprints as you advance, one step at a time. Your fragile body can finally contribute to a real battle. You can no longer need to watch your teammates fight from the sidelines. Humanity's technological advance is finally challenging the shape of this war. The medical transport craft lifts off again, blocking the sun and casting a shadow where the three of you stand. After eliminating the remaining corrupted, the medical transport craft successfully lands near your temporary camp. The sleeping Lucian is placed inside a quarantine chamber in the transport craft, while Grey Raven, you are informed of a new mission to receive any deployment from the dispatching center. Your mission is to collect field data from the proto-armor, power armor. The Cosmos technicians union decided. Due to security concerns, this mission needs to be assigned to you in person. Please confirm your mission and sign the confidentiality agreement here. You can decide the location of your mission. Commanded. Neither Discord's identity, the mission report, nor the electronic signature is fraudulent. They're trying to separate us from Lucia. But this isn't how Corona operates. Corona would have let Grey Raven operate freely. Why is Grey Raven asked to test the new gear at this moment? Is this something you need to see that cannot go through the military? Although suddenly appears in your head. Lee. Check the confidentiality agreement again. The analysis of her mind, the frame is complete. Still, I recommend bringing her back to Babylonia for a more detailed inspection. If something unusual happens to her on Babylonia, we will be forced into a passive role, including her. Prison will be the least of her worries. I'm just being cautious as a researcher. It's okay. Give us your findings. Alright, but the situation is complicated. Operating remote means I can only offer my guesses based on limited things I found. Asimov adjusts the position of the terminal to better show the graphs. Let's start with the conclusion. Lucia's infection happened because her frame stunner was transforming to its original form, the data from Alpha's frame. In a sense, she's transforming into an ascendant. That's why the plume frame is designed to absorb the punishing virus. As if dropping a massive stone into the water, Asimov's words stir up a tidal wave within Nicola and Hansen. They have considered many possibilities, but what Asimov said is still beyond what they imagined. Although plumes data originate from the Ascended Alpha, much data was altered during its development. We made those changes because we wanted to protect its user, but also because we couldn't reproduce and recover the parts of the original data. These parts of the data could be affected by factors we haven't found. Comparing Plume's early data with the original data and the one we just collected, one thing can be certain of is that the old data is attempting to transform back to to its original form. That was the reason why Zod appeared to have a mind beacon corruption during the connection. Also, Lucia's INVAR device is constantly receiving signals from the signal source. Our early estimate is that these signals are related to changes in the Bloom frame. They are affecting Lucia's mind. Is there no way to block these signals? The signals are transmitted in a similar way to the electromagnetic radiation of the Hedrick Tower. We can't block them completely with existing technologies. We could even find out that her info device was receiving some sort of signal if we didn't compare the data against the past records of electromagnetic radiation. If I remember correctly, Hyperreal is completely immune to the Punish virus, isn't it? Can we use that technology on Lucia? Hyperreal's immunity comes from the Omega weapon installed within the frame, but the Omega weapon is not an ordinary device. To install it inside Plume would be just as difficult as designing a new frame for Lucia. Besides, the root cause of Lucia's problem comes from the change in frame parameters. The absorption of Punisher virus is but a side product. It wouldn't fix the problem in her mind either. Do you have a solution then? There too. First is to completely remove the INVAR device. I did some testings. After turning off the INVAR device completely, the parameters of the mind of Plume no longer had abnormal functions. Which means if we remove Lucia's INVAR device, the signal receiver, her problem, will disappear. But that will make her completely vulnerable to punishing virus. She won't be able to undertake any more combat missions. I see. If you don't want to go down that path, we have to turn off the signal. The second solution is to completely destroy the source of the signals. Asimov opens a map. While we haven't decided the method of transmission, we can locate the proximity range of the source. He zooms into a particular region and draws a circle. So this is where the signals come from. Somewhere around this region. If we get a little closer, we can better locate its exact position for Lucia. What impact will it have on her? Based on the data collected so far, as Lucia approaches the source, the signal strength will also increase, leading to increasing receiving power. I can add a blocker to her INVAR device through remote operation. It won't block the signals completely, but it can at least elevate her symptoms. We just need to destroy the signal source during this time. Do you have any idea what the source is exactly? Available data isn't enough for us to find out its actual shape or form. That is to say, the source can be something totally unknown. Maybe it doesn't even have a physical form that can be destroyed. Will this signal impact other specialized frames? There isn't sufficient evidence. Asimov hesitates for a while before speaking again. This is just my hypothesis. There isn't enough evidence to support it. So far, Lucia's the only one displaying these symptoms because her frame data and mind, bottom structure, both come from the same provider. While other specialized frames are also developed from the data of ascendants and agents, they had different mind bottom structures. This is why specialized frames must be adjusted first before constructs can use them, which leads me to suspect the signal source can possibly be Alpha's mind activities. Possibly? Why can't you be sure of that? Should be able to compare it against the sample of Alpha's mind activities. I already did. Signal waves didn't fully overlap. The data is out of data. The chance of mind signals changing is quite low, but it's not zero. Maybe we will meet more than just ascendants there. Ever since Asimov marked the ex approximate location of the signal source, Nikolai has been looking at his terminal, trying to confirm something. Remember the Scarlet Revelation members who went missing? From what I remember, the Purifying Force was investigating it and find out Corona's Project Winter and Ascendants were behind their disappearance. Is that right? Those believers were originally placed in the Forsaken camp. The Forsakens had also been searching for them after they were gone. Not long ago, we received an important message from Watanabe. It contained some information regarding the handover of those kidnapped believers. The Forsakens proposed a joint operation to find out what's going on. The Purifying Force set up a trap to capture a few suspects involved in the handover. With the information from undercover agents, we managed to deduce a few locations, and Asimov just circled one of them. I don't think they will do something so high profile. Which means, if they were the reason for Lucius' problem, something must have gone out of their control. That's good news to us. The more they are preoccupied, the more weaknesses they will expose. Are you planning to use Lucia to find out the signal source? That's right. Whether the source comes from the Senate or Corona's out-of-control research, it's worth finding out. Their determination. Understood. I will change the cruising direction right now. As for her condition, the squad looks back at the girl sleeping in the isolation pod to check her condition before entering Nikolai. So far, so good. Her weapon has already been disarmed. We'll work with Asimov to install her blocker. Understood. I'll do my best. After Nikolai hangs up, Disco looks at the fully armed members around her and lets out a barely noticeable sigh. Even Grey Raven can be abandoned when there is a need. What do we do next, Captain? We have a new destination, so we need to adjust our route. Turn on the Omega purification system, power up the operation cabin, and connect to the remote operating table. The shuttle slightly trembles as it starts heading to the new coordinates. Lucia is pushed into the operation cabin. I'll start installing the blocker now. Keep the shuttle steady. We have entered the destination airspace. No suspicious target found so far. Has the accuracy of the coordinates been updated? We are updating them right now. The Science Council locating system needs some time to calculate. An alarm suddenly goes off inside the cabin. What's going on? We've been locked by an anti-air missiles. Did they find us? The shuttle is the most advanced stealth coding. It's from the surface? No, it comes from the air. It's online to avoid fighter aircraft. The entire cabin is light up red, flashing alarm. Whistling noises fill up the space. Let's get landed first. This shuttle is not armed. There's no time. We must survive this wave first. Just grab something. The pilot slams the button. Lots of metal royals are launched from the shuttle's tail, glowing in the sky like fireworks. He then pulls up the control stick, trying to lift the shuttle up. A loud explosion is shaking the cabin. Brace yourself. Another wave is coming. More foils were launched, but this time everybody heard something cracking after the explosion. Left wing damage. Fuel is leaking. We're going down. The pilot tries his best to control the shuttle, preventing it from tumbling. Everybody, evacuate the shuttle. Get into the escape pod. What about her? The escape pod's only can fit one. Put her in a pod for now. We'll look after her after landing. Shall we wake up her then? Turn on delayed awakening. The Science Council says as long as the blocker was working properly, waking her up wouldn't have much impact on the symptoms. Roger. Discord hesitates for a moment and adds, put her weapons inside too. Hurry up! I don't have much chaff left. Everyone, get into cabin now. Prepare to reject. She wanders in the empty darkness, with nothing to refer to. She cannot even tell the directions. Is this a dream? The chaos in her mind. Unable unable to find an answer, she take a futile steps toward where front might be. As she walks, the bubbles of memories begin to ripple. Crying in the rain, holding her sister, deceived by a fake ghost on the Frostland. Fought hard on the observatory of Coulon, saved the white bird from falling off the roof of the church. Betrayed by many, loved by many, disgusted by how despicable and greedy people could be, touched by the beauty of humanity in the apocalypse. Like the matches held by a little girl, the warm memories only lingered for a short moment in the chilling darkness. When she reaches the end of the intersecting memories, she finally stops. Where to go now? What to do now? The world is already beyond redemption. Why don't you just live an easy life instead of finding ways to change it? Then why do you look so sad when you occasionally gaze at the ocean? We all long for a home. Even the sturdiest ship will need a harbour. Even the strongest heart will need to feel warmth. Home. But I have no place to go back to. Blood-stained memories suddenly come back to her. She has done something irreversible. It was nothing to do with whether that person would forgive her or not. She has violated the unquestionable laws. That person told her not to lose, but she already lost everything the moment her blade touched blood. Perhaps there's only one thing she can do. Leave. Forever. Isn't it too pessimistic to think you're alone? As long as you still have a place for people waiting for you, that place is your home. You have been fighting for too long. It's time to rest. You can have a rest. But there are many things she is yet to complete. You can leave everything behind and come home. Always been waiting for you. Just leave the rest to us, the commanded. Sister Lucia. Solution now for becoming merging as one? No. I couldn't do anything to help Luna, but the Ascension Network would never be my home. I never leave anything to others. My home is Grey Raven. I will never break it apart or betray what I believe in. Even faced with endless battles, I will not fear them. I will fight on. Because we both have promised. Because we have both the same goal. To restore the world to its original shape. To bring new changes to this world. I will witness the future myself. System rebooting. Reboot complete. Consciousness Lucia online. Lucia opens her eyes again. Apart from a few indicators, the cabin is completely dark. She fumbles around and finally finds the button. The cabin door drops to the ground, letting a chilling wind and snow in. Lucia looks back at the escape pod and finds her equipment and comms device inside. My equipment's still here, but someone seems to have added something to the invert device. The comms device has no signal. For them to use the escape pod like this, is there an accident? Lucia examines the slightly deformed escape pod. She realizes the transmitter used to send distress signals was not activated. Does that mean the enemy's not corrupted or a hetero creature? The escape pod's transmitter was manually disabled before launch. Whoever did this was probably trying to avoid being detected, unless there was a malfunction during the landing. After a few more failed attempts, Lucia turns on her terminal and finds an unread message. This message is for Lucia, our mission target. I am Discord, a member of the Purifying Force. If you're reading this message, you have already been separated from the escort team. Based on the backup plan provided by HQ, I hereby give you the following mission. What is happening to your frame is related to the source that keep receiving signals from. If you find yourself lost and unable to regroup with us, please locate the signal source. To self-rescue, you must attempt to destroy it. The source of the signal must be Alpha. Lucia is quite certain after recapping the memories that didn't belong to her during the hibernation. Alpha. So this is what you've been fighting against. Lucia gazes through the storm and looks at the mountain peak. Do you really think that way? Lucia takes out her terminal and turns on the recorder. This is Lucia from Grey Raven. The following recording is not subject to any form of coercion or interference. It's entirely my own volition. Lucia's voice finally echoes in the storm, like a solo piece before the final. That's all. After recording the message, Lucia puts down the terminal back into the escape pod. She grabs the name tags and decides not to put them in. She takes her equipment and walks toward the peak in deep snow. I must put an end to this. When Alpha opens her eyes again, there was no more corruption nearby. The sludge on her body has also disappeared. Did I make it? Thinking of the chaotic experience in her mind, she looks a little exhausted. She looks at a new frame. The white windbreaker flies in the wind, blending into the snow in the background. A black bandage wraps around her crimson left hand, but it cannot contain electricity currently leaking through the gaps. The more she uses the power of the Ascension Network, the more she will transform toward the direction of its filtering. This is my contradiction. Her mighty power is constrained with an unbreakable shackle. A blade that can be sheathed will hurt not only others but also herself. Grey Raven, huh? She whispers the name that holds complex meanings to her. Even Grey Raven can be abandoned when necessary. Alpha puts on her poker face again as she recalls the fragments of memory. They are still trying to exploit the situation for their own good. How foolish. No matter what Grey Raven has accomplished, they are still a pawn. She looks at the figure that slowly walks out of the storm. Alright, let me see what you will choose. Of crossing to the other side of the mountain, Lucia's vision suddenly clears up. Only the sound of the snowstorm can be heard in the vast mountain peak. An unexpected figure has shown up. Alpha? Alpha has changed a lot from what Lucia remembers, still she recognizes her immediately. Because it's herself. I knew you would come. Are you the reason behind my symptoms? You already know the answer. Are you still hoping this is a coincidence? I just want to find out the truth. The Ascension Network is running a new round of filtering. You were incorrectly chosen as a target because our mind had the same root. A new round of filtering? That's none of your business, unless you still want to become an ascendant. So this won't stop even if I destroy you, right? Correct. Once the filtering has started, the Ascension Network will not stop until there is a restart. Even if you manage to kill me, you'll just have to deal with twice the stress. Besides, you never have the chance. If you ask me, I suggest you go back and spend your final days with Grey Raven. You can't stop this filtering, can't you? So you saw my memories through the resonance of our mind. Right, there is a possible solution. Alpha did not deny it. She paused for a while and answered. Let's work together then. Do you even realize what you just said? I saw your memories, so I know what you want to stop the filtering to go against the Ascension Network. Wait a second. We are enemies. You finally decide to give up Babylonia for this path? Lucia grabs the equipment she took from the escape pod. Pushing you completely to the Ascension Network will do us no good. I don't want to help it either. It's our common enemy now that gives us the foundation for cooperation. What if I say no? Lucia draws her blade out. It gives a chilling reflection in the wind. I'll just do my best to change your mind then. No matter what it takes, I'll put an end to this. I will go back to the Grey Raven and those who are supporting me as Lucia. It seems Grey Raven has become your weakness. It has taken away from you the courage to sacrifice. Sacrifice may be an option, but it will traumatize those who are still living, no matter what. I have already hurt that person. Lucia clenches her fist and puts it on her chest, right over the artificial heart. But after going through so many things, I resolute the feeling of heartache. I will never let it happen to others again. That's why I promised them that I would safely return. Regardless of what I will be facing later, be it a court-martial, surveillance, or even if I have to become a research subject, I will end this once and for all and go back to apologize to Commandant and everyone who worried about me. You just never learn. Alpha Ocean sheaves her blade, striking the same stance as Lucia. I once had expectations for you, hoping that you would unveil a different future for me. Who would have thought you only become more loyal to humans, and ended up on a convenient weapon? Why would you do that? How does it benefit you? The lack of trust between us means we can only cooperate temporarily. I can't put all my hope on you. That I'm no longer clueless like I used to be. I must take action. You are digging your own grave. Still better than doing nothing, especially when the threat is right in front of me. If you really think that way, show me what you're made of then. I'm also curious to know whether you really can contain this power. The question is which kind of flying as. Lucia and Lucia, who would win? But Crimson Weaves is busted, so... Alright. I know her moves doesn't mean I'm any good. There we go. I summed it up. Jeez. There we go. Just need to get my orbs. That's a very dangerous attack. Alright, I did not do as much damage as I hoped. Ooh. This is pretty bad. I have to fight against a super advanced construct. Almost there. Alright, we did it. That was close. She's just too mad to give up. Crimson particles gather on Alpha's left hand, linking together her consciousness and Lucia's. The noise in Lucia's mind gradually lowered, along with her level of infection. Will you just release your power and find a way to contain it through the battle just now? Did you notice that? We fought so many times, of course I can tell there's something wrong with you. Stop pretending that you understand me, but you were right. Why did you do that? That's the only way to buy more time. You're right, the Ascension Network is our common enemy now. If we really fought to death, that would be just what it wanted. Are you suggesting this is also part of the building? Then we can sense each other's whereabouts? What exactly is filtering? Some things can only be understood when you connect to the Ascension Network. Do you want to become an Ascendant? Lucia shakes her head. Then stop asking. Come with me. I accept your offer for now. You can still regret it now, I mean. If anyone sees you with me, or Grey Raven will be in trouble. It has nothing to do with Commander and the others. I testified before I came here. Relax. The place we're going is still a secret. Maybe they would panic more with the being exposed, who knows? What exactly have you been investigating? The North Asian Research Institute of Life Science and Evolution was another more common name for Fort Winter. It's the most secret lab Corona was hiding from the world. You would also find the records about Project Winter that you've been tracing. I'm curious if Lucia and Alpha actually will become merged as one again. Since they are both the same person. Not as grand as one imagined, nor does it have any unnecessary decorations. The building just sits quietly in the mountains like a black rock. Is this the North Asian Research Institute of Life Science and Evolution? After taking off his mask off, the male researcher exclaims as he looks at the forest as it blends into perfectly with the surroundings. It is already early spring, but the dark soil is still covered by a thin layer of melting snow. Apart from the fortress built into the rocks, no sign of human civilization could be found nearby. Still fully armed patrolling guards can be seen between the steel structure. How unimpressive. Huh. I think that fits us well. A well-mannered man walked out from the exit nearby. I heard of this practice called stone gambling. People would spend millions to buy mineral rocks that could possibly contain jade inside. Once the deal was agreed upon, the seller would cut the stone open. A high-grade jade may immediately earn the buyer a huge fortune, but only end up with an ordinary rock worth nothing. The gamblers are betting their vision and luck on those stones. But to us, we have no clue how many more attempts it will take for the research to be successful, or whether it will be successful at all. We don't know whether we will get any results before we run out of funds. It's no different from stone gambling, don't you think? Before getting a real assault, our efforts must be but unimpressive stones. We will care about them, other than the buyers. Of course, we would still make contributions to science by eliminating the wrong answers. But to us, we just become other people's stepping stone. The man says with a self-mocking laugh. Were you sacked by the department, or did your entire team run out of funds and get disbanded? That's a very sharp question. Don't say that to your colleagues. The researcher gives a resigned look after hearing the man's straightforward comment. But I'm not a researcher here. Strictly speaking, I'm just a businessman who come here to hand over something. I've heard of your name, Mr. Goodwin. It's a great shame that those boring fools can't appreciate your bold experiments. Rest assured that you will get all the support you want. Hope we will meet again. The man quickly walks into the helicopter that Goodwin just left. It blades and sends snow flying, hitting Goodwin's face. Feeling the chill, he wraps himself closer to the coat. It's cold. After billions of years of evolution, humans have finally climbed to the top of the food chain. The Earth is like a comfortable cradle, protecting humans with its atmosphere. However, this is sheltered as an umbilical cord that humans cannot lose. They firmly changed their civilization to Earth. Extreme environments, mutated germs, even the slightest deviation from comfortable temperature would make the fragile human body rapidly deteriorate. Not to mention the deadly radiation, low temperature, and lack of oxygen in space. Mankind's longing for the universe cannot make it less harsh to themselves. That is why they have spent a great amount of resources to improve the life support systems in space. Humans are not sending themselves to outer space, they are bringing the Earth's ecosystem there. There is nothing but an extension of the umbilical cord. Without a vessel vast like the Earth, without infinite energy, where could this cord reach? Perhaps humans will never find the next comfort zone before exhausting all their resources. To humans, this is like a deadly winter they will never be able to survive through. At this time, they will attempt to change themselves and cut off the cord, so they can get through the deadly winter in the universe. This is also why he signed that suspiciously long contract and came here, because in this place, humans will have a chance to step onto another ladder of evolution, again after tens of thousands of years. Only that this time they get to decide where it leads. Clang. As the black steel doors open, the sound of rotating shaft brings Godwin back to reality. Of course, before those great visions come true, both Godwin and the covert investigators have a more obvious proposal. Project Winter is like a well-nurtured giant tree. The higher it reaches toward the sky, the deeper its roots have to extend into the darkness underground. No matter what it takes, they want to take control of time, the ultimate resource of the universe. Godwin casts one glance at the snowy mountains, and then turns back and steps into the dark passage. Two uninvited guests have come to the Silent Fortress. Here we are. The torturous mountain pass did not slow them down at all. Soon the entire Fort Winter has appeared before the two of them. Lucia and Alpha approached the building. To their surprise, no alarm was sounded. It's too quiet here. What happened? We'll find out after we get in. The surveillance cameras are still following them as they move, suggesting that this place is not deserted. Instead, it's just silently observing the actors on the stage. Alpha looks up the massive gate in front. While the fort is not actively shutting them out, they still seem to welcome their arrival either. It seems this gate can only be opened from inside. Lucia came to the conclusion after investigating briefly. For a large research facility like this, there should be other emergency exits. Let's search elsewhere. There's no need. Gate is thicker than the length of your blade. It's impossible to cut it open. That's not what I meant. Alpha touches the security device with her fingertip. Electric current flows through the device. Soon the gate opens, revealing the deep dark passage. Leading the way, she walks across the storm and enters the building. I just went through the front door. North Asian Research Institute of Life, Science and Evolution. According to the elevator's floor path, this floor seems to be their lab. Might find some useful info here. First all listed the commentation path, and it's still functional. The identify verification lock has been disengaged. Alright. Exoskeletons? Prototype constructs? Oh yeah, they've got brains. Minds. Interesting, their minds are in their chest. Lord Data is corrupted. Only few logs remain. Project Simpler? I remember this project started before the punishing virus. The first time I heard of it was when Dad was watching the news. Right, back then it was treated as a project that could around humans' immortality, intended to be used first on scientists and great minds. Finding the project's name here means it's not entirely unrelated to Project Winter. Look, there's an experimental log here. From cloning embryos to dissecting human bodies to interfacing mind with mechanical frames. Aside from the cloning, most of this is standard procedure for early constructs, nothing out of the ordinary. These frames, left in their cultural vessels, are part of the experiment. Waking them up should give us the answers we need. It's a bit weird, like working with yourself. Awakening specimen. Specimen vitality insufficient. Please proceed to the laboratory to inspect the procedure and place the specimen. The entrance head is unlocked. Let's go. What are you looking at? Rest in peace. No need to say that out loud. They can't hear you anymore. The dead may not hear, but those words are for the living's comfort. At least that's what Liv would have said. Alert. Intruders detected. There we go. Let's go. Let's have some action. Wait, she can go up higher to 600. Is that what a triple S alpha can do? Alright, problem solved. Hello, boys. That running animation. Did that take care of all the problems? Yes, it did. Terminal still works. Let's see if there's any data left. Let me try. Alright. What horrors will we see? Construct, Babylonian, and the main hall. There's another construct here. Is he part of the experiments too? Could be another intruder. Check him for anything useful. Male. Parent test subject. Well, I know where the shiny thing is. It's obviously telling me where the key is. I feel like that shiny thing is just a bit overkill. Gone. Out of ammo. Empty clip. Alright. Is it the same sign over here? News archive. July 13th. The contract plan of human experimental death row prisoners have been terminated officially. The plan approved by the world government has been around for 3 years. Originally it was a charity contract signed by the prisoner and their family voluntarily for the prisoner to assist in the medical experiment after receiving compensation. However, this year it was revealed and related institutes had borrowed the prisoners secretly to carry out inhuman experiments in the name of the world government without their agreement. After that, people started a mass protest against the plan. 3 days later, the plan was completely halted. Human experiments were once again listed as illegal operations. But it didn't stop people. Bunch of bio-cyberbrain experiments, early mind development. Named this phenomenon mind deviation, a mismatch between individual consciousness, self-perception, and physical body accompanied by extremely low neural sync rate. Significant 94.1% of subjects experienced difficulty in body control when the phenomenon occurred. Additionally, the majority showed strong signs of agitation or depression with destructive impulse toward themselves and others. Despite any treatment, 48% retained a certain degree of memory disorder. None of the later section of the report has been damaged. Subjects implanted with these mind replicas were discovered to possess shared cognition. We named this homunculus consciousness, which allowed them to transmit information and emotions amongst themselves in a nearly imperceptible manner. Which they do. The work log was created before the partnership via those experiment reports. The regular check is done. We picked 8 out of the 103 subjects for the next round of cultivation. Among them, subject CP103 is closest to the target state. Whether this is related to a relationship with blank remains to be seen in further experiments. CP107 has been confirmed dead after delivery. CP103 has showed a high level of concern for the baby and requested to touch it. If CP103 will be our Synthela and give birth to blank, the success is around the corner. Are they creating their own transhuman? Actually, so it reminds me of transhumanism. To create the master species. To perfect human evolution to the next level. Of course, transhumanism is an old concept. After the last security robot fell, their blades, a brief moment of silence has returned to the empty lab. 2 of them start to check undamaged documents on the desks and terminals while maintaining a certain distance in between. What's this? A report... Pardon me. A report has caught Alpha's attention. Ha! How ironic. What's the matter? Read it for yourself. Alpha hands over the report. City 023, Conservation Area 112, Deport D56. These are small-scale bases destroyed by hetero creatures. Hetero creatures weren't the only things behind those deaths. Attacks. They had planned everything. Lucia reads through the detailed attack plans. Her hand starts to shake unconsciously. Only in a chaotic environment where can they accomplish their shady business. You also need more missing persons for their experiments. Alpha activate the self-destruction program on the cultivation tanks. Without a sound, the test subjects have dissolved into transparent liquid. What are you doing? Alpha looks at her other self on the other side of the cultivation tank. Through the rippling liquid, Lucia's reflection gradually merges with her own. I was giving them a peaceful ending. Do you want them to continue serving Project Winter in these forms? Without a word, Lucia puts away the report. Rest in peace. Submitting this report won't do anything to those people behind the curtain. It will only trouble you to yourself instead. But that doesn't mean I should let this darkness continue to spread. It will continue to feed on mankind's greed. As long as humans still long for the extension network, your efforts will only be futile. Alpha lets out a soft mocking laugh. Even the specialized frames that helped you through the crisis were the product of these plants, weren't they? I still don't think that's right. The past mistakes can't be corrected, but doesn't mean we should continue doing the wrong things. I don't think the situation's bad enough for us to give up all the good things. Imprisonment. Self-modification is destined to be a painful path to change humanity itself. It means that all social structures, ethics, and morals built upon the biological foundation of humans will be reshuffled. It will take a long time for humanity to ease the pains that emerge from the transition between old and new orders. I'm so disappointed in you. Godwin stares the newly joined research assistant in a temporary prison modified from an underground warehouse. He sounds incredibly calm. Why did you attempt to leak the information? Did the Science Council send you here? Was it Kulong, Adalik? How much did they offer you? Nobody sent us here or made any offer. It's just that we couldn't take it any longer. Professor, let's stop. These experiments should not continue. I told you on the first day you arrived. Unlike other projects, we're trying to embrace a new evolution. Don't let the shackles of the old time you hold back. You threw those people directly into the experiments. Biologically, they are no different from the clone test subjects obtained through Project Symphola. But we aren't able to get any more variety in the cloned samples. A technology that can only be applied to selected individuals is useless. The assistant remained silent. Godwin listened a sigh. The curiosity of humans has already begun a compromise of their physical conditions. Back in Newton's time, a human can muster all available scientific knowledge with sufficient perseverance and talent. These days, just learning the basics of a minor field of science would consume a person's entire life. How much innovation can they make after wasting away their mind's golden time? It's highly likely in the future that a person can't even finish learning a subfield without their life. By that time, it will be too late for mankind to change. No need to lament for those people in the old days. Their greatest contribution to the new era will become its foundation. But sir, aren't we also from the old days? No, we are the trailblazers. Pioneering a new era always comes with blood and sacrifice. You either become a trailblazer, or you end up as a stepping stone. That's a duty that no one can escape. I hope you can understand. You're my best student. If that's the case, who will be able to tell us what we are doing is right? Only those who have reached the end deserve a second chance to talk about right or wrong. But they'll never have a second chance. Professor, there's no future in your eyes. Only see a devil. As you should Alpha go deeper into the institute, you see blip marks, dented and shattered screens, as well as overturned desks and chairs everywhere. All of them are revealing the intensity of the conflict that took place earlier. However, why are there no bodies? If there is any bloodstain left, they could have at least traced it, but all the evidence seems to have cleaned away by diligent cleaning robots. The cleaning robots wouldn't be able to carry the bodies. Someone else might be here. Alpha recalls the voice that told her about the shuttle. Could it be her? Alpha has never ruled out the possibility that this is a trap. She suddenly sees someone out of the corner of her eye. Phew. Her dagger cuts through the air, creating a small whirlwind that sends all the paper flying. A black humanoid was impaled on the wall. The paper slowly falls to the ground, revealing its real look. It's the subject from the cultivation tank. Wow, this must be their assembled product. What a horrible taste. We'll probably see a lot of enemies like this in the next area. If they can still move, but they are mindless counterfeits, but neither constructs nor humans. Spare no mercy, don't be fooled by that brain on them. You don't need to remind me. Alright. Now we've got both, Lucia's. Of course, the symbol is their brain. Seems this follows the research center of the brain. Let's keep moving. Yeah, I wonder why. It's pretty obvious. Stick a brain on the wall. Must do brain research. The elevator can take us to the next floor. What? Enemy. Alright, let's go. Just parry it all. Alpha. Seems we need to leave to me. Oh, we actually got to swap between the two. And now we'll get ambushed. Yeah, well, that was obvious. Are they talking to each other? Nope. Oh, okay, I see. Whoops. Well, at least it's 2, not 3. More prototype constructs. Let's finish this. Oh, I'm getting real beaten up. Jeez, okay. I didn't realize these guys could be dangerous. Oh, issues here. Well, this time, this should be... Hold on, I think we've got company. We always have company. Endless invented test objects form out of all directions. 2 of them surrounded in the center look like waves in a black ocean. Alpha cuts the test subject in half with her dagger, then spins her hilt in a crescent to knock away another enemy approaching from her back. The test subject is thrown into the air and frozen by a chilling tornado. It falls to the ground and shatters. As Lucia pulls her thrust to block a frontal attack, one test subject crawls to the ceiling and descends upon her. Lucia senses danger and wants to move to the side, but another test subject grabs her blade. She is halted for a second, but the failing attack is imminent. A thunderous clap strikes over her head, leaving behind a pungent odor of ooze. As the threat above her disappears, Lucia slashes a part of the test subject, grabbing her weapon and falls back. She leans on Alpha's back. Seeing their retreat, the test subjects halt their attack, as they're thinking of a solution. How are you? So far, so good. Although their actions are still swift, both of them have imperceptible fatigue in their tone. While facing enemies from all directions, they still have to focus more on suppressing the noise in their mind. The test subjects seem to have noticed their exhaustion. They begin to swarm over them after staring at them for only a brief moment. One side each. Alright. Lucia's thruster deflects and attacked from several corrupted like a shield, a crimson katana that cuts them in half. Lightning dances on the test subjects, dark bodies stunning them briefly. In the next instant, a blade swipes over and destroys the central system with precision. The light of the two blades mirrors each other, forming a perfect circle. Wave after wave, dark tides charge at them, only to be reduced into foam, unable to shake the rock at the center. Still, the rock is gradually collapsing inside. They don't need to ask to sense each other's condition. The seemingly endless battle is wearing them down, screeching noise deep in their mind. It's getting increasingly clear, to the point that their actions are being hampered. After defeating another wave of attack, Alpha, ready. One short sentence is enough for them to understand each other's intentions. Their tactics are already incredibly similar to begin with. The brief cooperation has created an impressive level of synergy. When they're pretty much two halves of the same brain, they will give up the passive defense and eliminate all the enemies with one charged up strike. Lightning strikes charges near them, creating a short window for Lucia. The airflow from the thruster's tail is sending them hem of the duo's outfit flying. Holding onto the thruster, Lucia raises into midair. Meanwhile, Alpha puts her blade back into sheath and steps on the katana that Lucia has stuck into the ground. With a strong push, she has reached to the same height. Charged to the limit, Lucia hurls the thrust attacker on the ground, freezing all the tips subjects of blow. And the indicators on Alpha's blade sheath light up, one after another, as she draws the blade at the impossible speed. Everyone is blinded by the dazzling lightning. When the two of them fall to the ground, their visions have been stored. Ground around them is full of scorched black marks from lightning strikes. All the test subjects lie on the ground lifelessly, become part of the scorched earth. Lucia pulls her katana out of the ground, trying to calm her simulated breathing. Alpha just sheaths the blade after confirming there are no enemies in sight. Let's get out first. Before Alpha could finish, they can hear a horrifying noise underneath the trembling ground. A feeling of weightlessness soon arrives. The ground was already on the brink of collapse. Their charged up attack became the final straw. This depth is abnormal. The depth below is a lot greater than the room's height. Even constructs have a high chance of injury if they fall directly to the bottom. Even if they are lucky to land unscathed, they still need to watch out for falling rocks. As Alpha searches around for stepping places, she finally feels a drop in the nearby temperature. A hand reaches out to her. Over here. The thrusters can hardly carry two constructs. Lucia frees the falling rocks and barely connects them into her track. Following Lucia, Alpha steps on the icy track. She deflects the incoming rocks with her hilt as Lucia continues to make the track. Soon they can feel solid ground underneath their feet. Lucia's thrust is already covered in frost. She puts it away and inspects the unfamiliar environment. Can't find its basement in the previous records. There's only one possibility then. This place is a secret even to Corona's own staff. Luna was here before she was transferred. Abyss. Torch was supposed to help civilization survive the winter has turned into deadly flames. Are you asking us to change our direction of research and design the constructs for military use? Godwin frowns at the request. My research isn't for such boring purpose. Go find Daedalus or the Polar Institute. Humans are losing the war against the punishing virus. We urgently need a new weapon to bring the situation under control. Mr. Godwin, we can hope you can understand. The man used a pleading tone, but he left no room for Godwin to negotiate. Even if I am old in my field of research, the available materials aren't made for such experiments. Now that Project Synflow is compromised, I have no spare. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Goodwin. The other departments will provide full support. In a war that puts the survival of mankind at stake, there will be no shortage of volunteers who are willing to give their lives. If only they have actually volunteered. Mr. Goodwin, if you really can't handle the stress, we can send someone else to replace you. Don't forget to test the adaptability of titanium colopolymers in advance. There's no point in running the experiment if that is guaranteed to fail. No, we need those failures. How about taking this opportunity to find out how to improve the test object's adaptability of compromise? Failed surgeries are just a common misfortune at this time anyway. Someone who's more savage than Godwin. After leaving the collapse area, Lucia and Alpha are walking into a dark corridor. Unlike upper levels, there is one straight passage in this one. All the complex routes have emerged together here. These marks are quite new. They were left by construct weapons. Alpha looks at the weapons in the corridor. As the group comes to a conclusion. This is Corona's important asset. They won't give up that easily. Alpha has suddenly found an answer. The question has been haunting her. Unlike us who came in by coincidence, they should have their own access to the facility. Their priority must be to recycle the most important asset. That's why there's no trace of them in the upper levels. You've been distracted since just now. What is it that you want to ask? Did you say this is where Luna was before she was transferred? So they only told you the part of the truth. Why am I not surprised? How is she now? You don't need to know. Unless you need to eliminate a greater threat like Polyphage. Whatever reason do you have to be on the same side as her? You came alone without your squad because you didn't want to get them involved. Am I right? You have made your choice, now live with it. Stop having dreams that will never come true. Leave Luna alone. Tisk. Alpha suddenly stops talking. She frowns a little, trying to cast away the noises in her mind. They really are everywhere. Alpha thinks of an unexplained irritation Nelly and frowns again. You won't change for no reason. Something must be triggering it. The gate ahead suddenly opens. A shadowy figure appears in front of her, as if to confirm her thoughts. Another test subject? No, he's completely infected. Can you control him directly? If you want to become an ascendant faster? Alpha pulls down her blade and looks at the enemy in front. Don't let him touch you. It will worsen the essential network's corruption. It was like a battle horn. The lurking corruption began charging at them. Conscious. It's already dead. Let's finish this. Why they already dead? That was a waste. Let's go. Well, I ran straight into that one. Alright, these guys are a lot more tougher than I thought. Oh no, just sorry, complete. In a lab located at the bottom level of Fort Winter, seeing the data on the glaring screen, Godwin is finally unable to control his range. He punches his desk. Professor's mood seems to be getting worse recently. Seeing Godwin's outburst, the frightened researchers cannot help but waver. You need to rest, Professor. Rest? How can I rest at this point in time? Godwin gets emotional again. He waves his hands as if he wants to grab something vague and distant. The data obtained from Imperial Stigmata is the precision key. The opportunity to take control of the Ascension network is right in front of me. How can I pause it now? But the mine stability of the vessel is near its limit. On top of that, we just received an earthquake warning from the logistics department. We need to halt the experiment until the earthquake is over. An earthquake? When did that happen? Professor, we need to take a break. Use the next set of model parameters. Continue the experiment. The assistant still wanted to say something, but he only lets out a sigh. Understood. As the participants receive their orders, Godwin continues to stare at the screen in front. He's fully concentrated. Over time, he was ignored the trembling ground beneath his feet. Have an earthquake? Protect the experiment terminal. Completely ignorant of the noise nearby. Are you out of your mind? Guards, guards! He ignored the splash of blood on his face. He forgot the sense of pain, smell, or touch. He only sees a slow-flowing green data stream. The data stream cannot be understood without in-depth analysis. It's now simply clear like a child's picture book. The access terminal is already powered off. Godwin suddenly grabs it and lets out a frenzied laugh. I did it. I finally did it. Blood comes out of his eye in noise and flows into his mouth along the wrinkles, causing a violent cough. Hurry, record the data now. Godwin finally stops coughing and shouts out loud, but the dead bodies in the lab apparently cannot respond to his request. However, he does not seem to be bothered. Instead, he just points at a black figure that broke into the lab before he could notice, furiously reprimanding it. What are you doing here? Stop wasting time. At the thick pungent smell comes out, the last gate is opened. Dry blood toppled desks and chairs smashed terminals. The devastating scene is well preserved as cleaning robots are not allowed into such top secret lab. Lucia had made every effort to avoid direct contact during the early battle, but she is inevitably exposed to the virus from the vast number of corrupted. Under normal circumstances, such a level of exposure would not even require a connection from the commanded spine beacon. But right now, the slightest amount of punching virus has become a spark that detonates the bomb, raising her infection to an incredible level. Once insignificant ripples have turned into an overwhelming tsunami, threatening to devour Lucia's consciousness. Must not. Alpha is still able to move freely, but the burning pain in her left hand and the ear-splitting screech she keeps hearing are reminding her that her time is running out. You turn on the device. Alpha takes Lucia to the switch and then quickly walks to the room behind the observation window. What's this? The side of the room leaves Alpha in a daze. Connected to the device is not a construct, but a skeleton highly corrupted by the punishing virus. The skeleton is chained to a chair with multiple visible fractures on the wrists and chest. It must have gone through a lot of struggle before death. This must be the connection device Luna mentioned. Would it take me to the Ascension Network? A human skeleton. They had lost all patience. Alpha tries to move the skeleton aside, but the moment she touches it, the bones disintegrate and collapse to the ground. With no time to hesitate, Alpha puts the device on herself and nods at Lucia. When the button is pressed, Alpha's consciousness is pulled into a vortex. Captain Shadow, now I am the cage. As she expected, when she opens her eyes, she sees the home that once belonged to Luna and her again. Welcome home, sister. The winter frost has dissipated, new green sprouts grown. Somehow, Alpha has returned to her former appearance. Luna. It is Alpha's second time here. She once thought the girl in front was just an illusion generated by the Ascension Network to deceive her, but she was not. This place is not a carefully set up trap, but the last shelter Luna could offer without violating her duties. It's also the only connection left between them. The girl in white wants to approach her closest person like always, but she stops soon after. This is your last time here, isn't it? Yeah. Alpha turns around and she's about to leave. Luna, you once believed the only way to change the world was to completely destroy it. But after you came back from the moon, you've changed. You're willing to believe in other alternatives. I was glad to see those changes in you. But there is a reinforced connection between you and the Ascension Network. I was worried, but didn't do anything. Alpha closes her eyes. There's a rare hint of fragility in her face. I made a lot of bad decisions. Before I could realize it, I had given up taking action on my own, and begun to rely on you. I kept telling myself to wait, to observe, that I needed more information and before taking action. But I forgot the most important thing: without action, all preparation would be wasted. Luna, I'm sorry that I left all the decisions for you to make. I was the one stuck in the same place. Alpha opens her eyes again, and continues walking toward the door. Luna, I don't know what it meant for you to choose the Ascension Network, or what Ascension Network really meant to you, but there's one thing I'm certain. It didn't give you an option to give up. Regardless of which path you will choose in the end, I want to keep as many options as possible for you. That's why we need to separate from each other temporarily. I'm going to a faraway place. Sister? You can go. Do what you want to do. The warm shower is slowly collapsing. Alpha pushes the door open. As she walks on the shattered ground, the gaze behind her gradually disappears. When the gaze disconnects, Alpha enters the inconceivable reality. Is this really the right path? There's a voice similar to hers echoes in the cosmos of space. Her limbs are tightly tied by chains and ribbons. Black cubes float around her, giving the entire space a confined feel. The shattered mirror reflects Alpha's real-world image. All eyes turn to her. That's the only connection between the two of you. Are you going to give her up? I am not. That's why I can't allow myself to keep being manipulated. Alpha fiercely struggles. The crimson shackles continue to break and reform. Her consciousness be devoured before she can escape, or she will break away from the first at the bottom of his mind. I could have stopped him if I had enough power. Only the strong will survive. That's the only truth. The noises are turning into Alpha's familiar voices. They're so near yet so far. And is some sort of hallucination? Her true feeling that had been revealed? Civilization of this planet has embarked on new steps. Their life form needs a new round of evolution. That is why the Ascension Network began its filtering. That's why the Ascendants came to their world. The punishing virus isn't a weapon or a tool. It is the ineffable law of nature, and all civilizations will counter during their development. Alpha sees a vast space of full stars. Light from billions of years ago reflects in her eyes. Since its birth, the universe has carried various information structures: space, matter, energy. Different civilizations had different names for them. During their development, they gradually discovered these structures and integrated them with them, creating new ones. Each information structure has its own mission and purpose. Humans, intelligent lives, are also part of these numerous information structures. The interference between information structures is one-sided. If one structure can affect the other structures, who also receive their influence. Punishing virus has always been around. You'll only be discovered under certain conditions. If punishing virus is always around, what is the Ascension Network then? Interaction leads to new structures. The laws also applies to punishing virus. The birth of the Ascension Network is inevitable. It's a predetermined destiny. What exactly is the purpose of the Ascension Network? To filter populations of civilizations to identify those individuals that could possibly break the law. Individuals? Stagnant civilizations will untimely decline and perish. A form of life cannot halt the peace of evolution. The Ascension Network will continue to filter until those individuals emerge. This is the universe's destiny. We look forward to unknown possibilities and give a test to the variables. You can reach the ending. The starry sky disappears in front of Alpha. She sees herself standing on a snowfield. Vital blood is formed, prismatic and meandering streams. Countless blades impale the ground nearby. They're all her metals, but also her prison. There is nobody else around. Endless wreckage and remains have formed a throne. The sky seems within her arm's reach. Seeing such a view, Alpha smiles. There is no unbreakable destinies. Absolute laws don't exist. Survival of the fittest may be the common law, but it's never the truth. If nothing can survive to the end of the filtering, there's no different from locking us in a slightly bigger cage. Come out, let's talk face to face. Next instant, Alpha disappears from the snowfield, leaving the remains behind her like an empty grave. Looks like you have made your choice. The world has returned to its original form in Alpha's vision. Before she can realize it, she has already broken free of the shackle. Her frame is also restored. On the opposite side, another identical version of herself is walking out of the mirror. If you want to break the cage, then come face the final filtering. I was about to say the same. Katanas clash with each other, creating bright sparks. Alpha has lost track of how long she's been fighting. She only remembers that each clash of blades will send the mine space trembling. Dark cracks have appeared on the border of the mine, only infinite voidness can be seen outside. I like your unfaltering spirit. How long can this mine last? As the two katanas slash again, reaction force sends both of them back a couple of steps. Alpha tightens her grip on the hilt, forcing her arms to stop trembling. Your courage is commendable, but it will pull you into the abyss. Given the existing damage in your mind, you will only collapse before breaking away from the constraints. Alpha focuses solely on attacking and dodging, but each of her attacks get blocked by her identical self in the same way it was launched. The wilderness is burning. As the ground begins to crack, lava erupts from the earth's fissures. Everything in the mine is shattered from their collisions. Alpha is gradually burning out. You lost. Alpha blocks the frontal heavy slash, but the hilt follows closely and hits her abdomen. Ugh. The kick sends Alpha flying away. She coughs out a large mouth full of vital fluid, barely holding herself up with the blade. The attack was supposed to be one of her best moves, but her mind is on the brink of collapse. She has lost focus and is unable to capture every move of the opponent. Illusions of death flash before her eyes among the fragments of her collapsing consciousness. This was never a fair battle. Time to put an end to it. She puts her blade back into the sheath, preparing for a final blow to temporarily immobilize Alpha. The flickering flames are about to die out. Get up. Pure white snowflakes suddenly appear between the burning flames. The snowflakes fall from above. Ice walls raise from another after another, separating the two fighters. A black-haired girl slides down the icefall, slashing Alpha's enemy consecutively. A deep dive in such a situation? Alpha can feel her near broken mind being repaired. Why would you go this far? Just like what happened in City 75 when Lucia enters Alpha's mind for a deep dive, their mind begins to fuse and override each other as they share the same roots. Thanks to this fusion, Alpha's badly damaged mind was able to recover. However, once the fusion exceeds the threshold, it would also completely override Lucia's consciousness. Why help her? You're already on different paths. Alpha's phantom easily dodges Lucius being slashed and strikes back with a few lightning bolts before Lucius is able to pull back the blade. We chose different paths. Snowflakes on the ice fall to block the incoming lightning. Lucia dashes forward again, swinging her blade non-stop to block the opponent's attack routes. But we always... When the blades clash, Lucia immediately turns out the thruster behind her, and rapidly charges forward and knocks Alpha's phantom away, creating a turbulent airflow that sends the hems of Lucia's jacket flying. Want to fight against the same destiny? Lucia falls back to Alpha, with most frost marks on her arms. She was covering the thruster's trail for her own body for that sneak attack to work. I don't want to be overwritten. I need to return to those who are waiting for me. Get up, Alpha. This is all you can do? Are you going to fall here? This error that what she wanted to correct was embarked on a path completely different from hers. She thought their paths would never cross again, they would only walk in opposite directions. Somehow, destiny always brought them together, every now and then. Sometimes they point their blades at each other. Sometimes, lightning comes back to Alpha's blade as she and Lucius stand by his side. Before I reach the destination, I will never fall. Finish her off before you are overwritten. The seemingly endless battle has finally come to an end. The other Alpha shatters like a mirror she walked out from. Her flickering body is full of cracks if it will collapse in the next instant. More and more snowflakes appear in the consciousness space, flying in the air. The fusion is almost reaching the threshold. We must leave now. Lucia nods and disappears in the flying snowflakes. The consciousness of space gradually turns back to its original broken look. We have discovered the path to another ending. Alpha does not seem bothered by her words. She silently swings her blade once again at the Phantom's collapsing body. As the mirror breaks into pieces, the other alpha also disintegrates into data fragments. They are about to return to her main body through a link. The next moment, they are stopped by an invisible barrier. The space around her mind begins to contract, forming an inescapable cage. So is that your real intention? Finally following the law of the filtering will never get us out of this cage. To create a new alternative, I need power of deterrence. Now I'm your cage. Babylonia will not thank you. Other ascendants will see you as traitors. Everyone will be converting your unique value. Maybe you will not become everyone's enemy, but you will never have any allies. It's okay, that is enough. If you cut off this tribute, your starting and end points will never cross. Over time, the vortex of infinity will pull you into the void abyss. This is only a beginning. I must say, that was actually bizarre. She gave up on Luna. The whole point of her character is she wanted to create a world where Luna could be safe. Of course, both Lucias had that same goal, but the difference between the other Lucia, she wants to create a world where everyone will be safe for everyone. That's the difference. Alpha just wanted it before Luna, then Lucia, with her connections and bonds, wanted to be for everyone. And now they're deciding to abandon the key motive and trait Lucia? But their shared destiny is to create a peaceful world. And another thing that I don't quite like is this deviation to the esoteric. Like it's divine providence. Originally why I like Project Raven, because it was a sci-fi game. It was about a virus that affected both the mechanical and the organic. I thought that was pretty neat. And the technology that humanity has developed is the way to compact and deal with the virus and learn to eventually overcome it. And then there was others who learned to embrace the virus, to adapt with it. And now it's an esoteric divine providence of bringing civilizations to the next evolution. I think it shouldn't be said by the sentient network. I think that sort of concept should have been discussed by other characters who may believe that. Like, different characters have different take what the punishing virus is. From the original name, it was seen as the punishment of humanity's hubris. Hence what's called the punishing virus. Because how devastating it was. But actually to be divine providence sort of takes it away out of it. Instead of something that was created by humans on accident, like most scientific discoveries tend to be, it's now designed by an outside force. I think that takes away from the power of the punishing virus. It takes away from the whole concept of it all. I don't like this direction. This esoteric direction. I prefer like the spiritual stuff to be more vague. background on what other characters believe of their spirituality. That makes it more special, more personal, instead of some outside force saying, yeah, it is. I didn't like the direction of Hyper. I did not like Hyperreal's story. I did not like. Let's see. Let's go back. I'm going on a tangent now. Main. I do not like Spire of Coronas because of its esoteric path in the higher providence and spirituality, like some higher being. And then the only gripe I have with that one is that Selena and Halo didn't fully meet, but overall I didn't mind the story. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna finish the story and then I'm gonna use the loo and I'll be right back and then I'll finish the story. Alright, I'm back. They've been a disappointment in the next Blaze story. Alright, let's finish this. A few hours ago in Grave Raven's temporary camp. Hacking complete. Turns out it's an encrypted comms address. As Lee continues work on it, the lengthy non-disclosure agreement has turned into a simple string of numbers and letters. Shall we connect this to this address commanded? Lee nods and connects to the address. After a slight noise, the screen shows no image, but a voice can be heard through the speaker. I've jumped to the conclusion. The reason why Lucia was... That's Asimov. They're talking about Lucia. Sound quality is not great, but still enough for you to identify the speaker. Would you like to continue listening to it commanded? Keep going. It's worth finding out. Lee turns off the device, then the speaker is no longer making any sound. Three of you remain silent, trying to digest the fact. Eve, can you check this if this is forged recording? I already matched the voice print and the ambient noise halfway through the recording. It wasn't forged. What they're talking about is it true, Commander? At least it's in line with my experience. Do we now, Commander? The source of this information is unknown, so the actual conversation won't be disclosed to you later, right? If we confronted the HQ, they would question where we got this information from. Maybe this recording itself was meant to sow discord amongst us. Get me, Commander Nikolai. Really? Should we want to find out where you got it from? It's okay. I won't ask any question that's not related to Lucia. They will leave some room for an explanation. Understand. We write off the wiretapping evidence from the terminal first. Alpha has just opened her eyes when the ground begins to shake violently. All the alarm indicators are screaming like the cries of a dying beast. Through the transparent glass, she sees a strange figure standing where Lucia was before. The dagger she held went through the glass, only to break by a purple moon umbrella. Who are you? The tall, slim female puts away her moon umbrella, picks up the dagger, then gently places on the desk nearby. She takes off her top hat and bows to Alpha gracefully. Allow me to apologize again for in my inappropriate manner last time. It's my honor to meet you, Ascended. Why should I call you an agent now? The name's Liv. I came with good faith. Liv puts her hat back on and looks at Alpha with a sincere smile. It's the same voice I heard before. You opened the gate of Fort Winter, didn't you? Before entering Fort Winter, Alpha already sensed the camera's abnormal movement and zooming. She's been guarding against potential enemies. You could have gone in without my help, couldn't you? Still, it would be great if I saved you some time here. The best lie is half a truth. The Ascended who said this were they had probably already begun their sincere talks. Where did you take her? She was unconscious due to mind overload. I left her in a safe location outside for winter. I know you care about her a lot, but I don't want others to disturb us. Disturb us? Another loud explosion has sent the entire Fort Winter trembling. Don't look at me that way. It was Corona's people. They didn't get to run back to the multi-purpose Volta, but they still managed to activate the self-destruction program. I was so close to stopping them. What do you want? As a relatively new Ascendant, it isn't normal for me to admire my powerful predecessor. I have the honor to witness your power. That's always been my goal whenever I joined the Ascendants. I have no interest in that. Go wag your tail at your master. Too bad. You never revealed his power. Besides, I don't want him to see me as an usurper. Don't want to know what the construct... No. Don't you want to know where the construct is? You can also tell me her location now and get lost. I'm afraid I can't. It took me a little effort to find this opportunity. Although surrounded by explosions, they do not seem to panic at all. Alpha and Liv both fall down as the ground underneath begins to collapse. After coming apart the debris in front, Alpha sees a sea of lava. This is where those scientists dispose of their failed work. Liv is sitting on an exposed steel bar, enjoying the majestic view. Of course, they are also regarded as failures and thrown into the incinerator in the end. Don't you find it sarcastic? Those who claim to have controlled the direction of evolution end up being filtered out. How do you know so well? I had a spa similar to yours. She chuckles. Are you really not joining us? You can't find an association of Project Winter victims. I'm not interested. Tell me where she is. Show me how much you can get from me then. British Liv's just a schizo. You can't make bargains with Lucia. She's not a dealer. She does not make money. She just drives. Let's go. Oh. Let's finish this. Let's go. Oh. That's not what I want. Let's go. You can't dodge this attack. There we go. And I'm already pretty beaten up. She's stronger than the actual challenge missions. Maybe. Jeez, I am struggling. Even though I thought this fight's gonna be a lot more easier than those actual challenges. Maybe because I had Q to E's to help me. Actually, I might lose this. I only got her to 70, she's still got plenty of health left. Even though I set the game to Japanese, they're using English voice lines. Yeah, she's a schizo. Why is it all like one of good servants of schizos? Funny enough, Gabrielle is probably the most normal they ever served Vonnegut. I mean, I guess you have to be a bit crazy to become an ascendant. I'll just parry your attacks. Oh, she parried me. And she took my health down. Oh, I was meant to attack there. Come on. Let me just parry you. Oh, I was supposed to dodge that. I thought I was supposed to hit it instead. Never mind. Jeez, Alpha does get a lot of its ability frames. Oh, she is really insane. Come on. Oh, that didn't last long. Oh, yeah, that did a lot of damage. I was just standing there. Yeah, trying to parry that. And she hit me again. I swear she's tougher than actual challenges. Or maybe they're just bad. Mario. Really? I'm just playing badly. There we are. Time to finish this. She had no hope of winning. Alright. Was kinda lame. Clearing of metal continues amidst fierce explosions. Cultivation takes breakaway from the slots, falling into the magma. That's right. Who will burn out first? Us or this place? Let's bet on it. Battle will end before that. The katana clashes with the open umbrella once again, splashing numerous sparks. Too light. When this thought flashes through Liv's mind, she sees Alpha's katana swirling upward into the sky. She then takes a sudden kick in her right abdomen. What? When Liv is knocked away, she finally sees Alpha's hand without any weapon in it. The swing slash is nothing but a feint attack. You are terribly wrong if you can't fight without a weapon. The spinning katana falls back into Alpha's hand. Liv quickly attempts to summon punching virus to repair herself, but I can't control the virus anymore. Is this your power as an agent? Something seems to be interfering with the temporary access given by Vonnegut. It will not turn Liv into a corrupted just yet. but is it sufficient to prevent her from adjusting her own virus concentration? Agent, is that what you think? Liv holds herself up with the moon umbrella as Alpha walks close. I surrender! Here's the location of that Babylonian construct. She quickly raises her hands, letting her moon umbrella sway and fall to the ground. A location appears in Alpha's vision. Lucia is quietly leaning against a tree. Her shoulders are already covered by the fallen snow. I thought you were going to burn out with me. Even the most insane gambler will not challenge the house when there is no chance of winning. This place is gonna collapse. Babylonian people will be here at any moment. I'll be digging my own grave if I continue to mess around. Liv's hands remain in the air as if her madness was just a camouflage. With a move of her finger, a storage unit slides down Liv's sleeves into her hand. She tosses it to Alpha. You probably haven't gone to the core database yet. You need to data in that storage unit, I think. Why did you do that? Sigh, the most important mission Mr. Forno gave me is to invite you to join us. But you don't seem keen at all, which makes me wonder, am I not sincere enough? Can you leave me a message if you are satisfied with my additional service so I can at least bring something back to him? Literally takes out a voice recorder from her pocket. Alpha no longer responds, she just turns away and looks out from the exit. How heartless. Liv presses the recorder button, but a bunch of flowers pops out from the recorder's top. I prepared this surprise for you. What a waste. She seems a little upset as she pulls the petals out of the bouquet and tosses the rest on the ground. Hardly corrosive fluid flows out of the bouquet and rapidly spreads, accelerating the fall of the steel platform beneath. Before anyone arrives, this place would have gone sunk into magma. Where to go before the little puppy finds me? Liv also disappears into the white mist, producing a reaction between the corrosive fluid and the metal. Well, that was kind of dumb. But knowing the truth was immune appearing to do this, are you truly ready? 3 hours passed after the Grey Raven, the mission is support and rescue Lucia. Asking too many questions is not going to get you any good. You should stay out of this. Actually, while I was in the coma, I saw a research you from the perspective of someone else. Keep speaking. After matching the Conference Forest, I have to give it a satellite map. We haven't located the approximate position. What do you think about that perspective? I'm guessing it's from the Ascendant's Alpha's point of view. Why? I had a similar experience before. Ozil's right. You're just a magnet for trouble. How's Lucia now? Science Council believes Lucia was affected by Alpha's mind activity signals. They are using this connection to search for the signal source. But Grey Raven is in this operation then. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to get involved again. Now give me a reason why you must step into this mess. First, if the signal already came from Alpha, Grey Raven would be the best candidate given they have fought her many times and now equipped with the latest specialized frames. I take that as a reason, but I'm not good enough. Grey Raven is not the best shape now that she's out of combat. The power armor is meant to provide commanders with bonus protection, so don't get killed in battles, especially from some younger ones who are always reckless. Don't ever think that you can make up for the missing constructs, let alone that she is a specialized frame. Second reason is Corona still hasn't given up on me. So why don't we just get a little bit more of their attention? Good that you know it. Alright, since you're already prepared to become a bait, I won't say no. You arrived at the destination in a shuttle. After discussing with Liv and Lee, you decide to split up the best rescue with efficiency. As though storms hinder your vision and slows you down, as you have to constantly watch out for the landscape underneath your feet. You continue to walk through the storm, trying to find a place with good visibility. Look for shuttle debris. Pilot signal approaching. You look in the direction pointed out by the AI. A vague figure appears in the storm, giving you a familiar feel. As word slips out of your lips. Lucia. The figure halts slightly and walks over. You're finally here. If you come a little later, I would have sent her somewhere else. Alpha? The black-haired girl currently lies in Alpha's arms. There are not many marks on her frame, but her face looks so exhausted. Keeping a close eye on Alpha, you press the button to call for assistance while checking Lucia's condition for a mind connection. Alpha remains silent, with no intention to stop you. The block of info device, is it damaged? She doesn't need it anymore. Why? Ask her when she wakes up. You trust her words better. Sod. Alpha looks over. He knows that she's no longer covering her left eye. You know what happened to her, don't you? I know it very well. Can't believe they didn't hide it from you this time. No, someone must have leaked the information to you. They surely trusted you a lot. What would you do if they were to seal her up? Carry on fighting for her, so she can see the situation get better upon her return. Are you just sure that she can survive to that day? If I can't make it, she can witness it for me. Is that so? Her fierce gaze pierces through the storm, and your exoskeleton armor as she will see through your heart. Do you know that, to some people, protecting a corrupted construct can be seen as a sign of defecting? The choice I made was never meant to just impact the present. I want more than just a result. What's the future world like in your vision? Will it regain the glory of the Golden Age? I hope it can be a little better than that. A little better? After a brief moment of silence, Alpha passes Lucia to you. Take her. Good thing I'm in a power armor. Bloody hell. You hold Lucia firmly and find out she has a storage unit in her hand. What's this? It contains the records of Project Winter. Haven't you been investigating it? Why? I already have what I want, and I don't care about the rest. And since you are taking action to bring another possibility into practice, it would have been a shame if you keep repeating the past mistakes. You can't stay ignorant if you want to uphold your beliefs. But knowing the truth is no means peering into the abyss. Are you truly ready? I won't go on that path. Is that so? Don't struggle with all your might, even only one can reach the finishing line. I'd always like to see how far you can go. What are you going to do next? Your members are here. Go. Alpha looks into the distance beyond the stone storm. You have our own paths to walk. It's not time for them to cross yet. Before that, I suggest you to focus on things beyond the reach of the other agent in the tower. What do you mean? Alpha seems to have lost interest in explaining, and she turns away and disappears with the storm alone. You hear a rushed footsteps from behind. Commended! Lucia. You turn around and see your members quickly running to you, along with some Purifying Force members who seem to be heavily wounded. All good. Let's go back. Well, officially, Commandant has finally Princess carried Lucia. Lucia finds herself in an empty hall. There are no people nearby, not even a sound. The pale light shines on grey metal walls to reflect her shadow. The vast emptiness brings her a level of anxiety that she never felt before. She cannot help but retreat to the corner. The white light feels heavy and suffocating. The light seems to have its own will. The more she tries to move back into the shadow, the more closely it follows, mercilessly exposing her. Sample for observation, the key to capturing the Punishifire's key subject. Ever since learning the truth, she has become used to these comments. At least, she touches the palm and she could feel the familiar warmth when she held that hand, pulled her out of the void. The person gave meaning to her life for the first time. She felt connected to the world. It all started with their encounter. Have you arranged for a commander for? Better get it done before the activation program. She suddenly hears a discordant voice in her memory. Her palm begins to feel cold. Already done. Wait. Yeah, the surveillance on her takes top priority. Get her a smart commandant. Don't worry. We picked a great candidate from after many rounds of selection. Her precious memories begin to crack like a mirror. She grasps her own hand, her metal joints squeaking in terror. Is this what she always been fearing? If meeting each other is also a carefully arranged consonants, what else would it be left in her? No, after she had learned that person's way of thinking and doing things, she realized that person had never lied to her. She decided to get closer to that person. Her feelings were genuine. These bonds were not fake. So even if someone took it first. My bad. I thought Naomi would pick an incomplete squad. But don't worry, I had already put into hibernation the name of the frame maintenance. We can transfer it to the care of one of our people later. Who took the squad? Here's the information. Not again. Commander? Nothing, it's just a graduate who refused the transfer order. Let it be. What? I say let's just let this one... I say, just let this one be the new commander of New Greyhaven. Ha, wonder what the chief of others will bring for us. Turns out there was never any carefully arranged coincidence. The light no longer feels cold but warm. Instead, that person was probably saved her from another emptiness. The new chief of VODS. Oh, I remember. Her name is... Sword. I'm here, Lucia. Calibrating the vision module took Lucia some time. She finds the selling somewhat familiar. Commandant, where are we? We're in the construct department of Star of Life. Star of Life? Oh, how's your injury, Commandant? The wound wasn't deep. I'm already fine. Thank goodness, and sorry. It wasn't your fault. Besides, you already pushed me away. Lucia tries to sit up, but fails to do so due to fatigue in her frame and a sharp pain in her mind. Don't push yourself too hard. Your frame was badly damaged. Not to mention your mind needs multiple repair sessions. She tries to feel her frame. This time, the fatigue is slightly different from the past injuries. Frame damage is probably the sole reason of my fatigue. I will prove your innocence. Seeing the human's serious face, Lucia smiled. She was about to say something, and the ward's door suddenly opened. Sod, the visiting time is over. We need to go. Can I have a little bit more time? She's still under observation. There's no room for negotiation. Well, that rhymes. Your understanding is appreciated. Commander, can you help me say I'm back to living Lee? Sure. Lucia waves goodbye to the human and watches the ward door close again. We have finished the inspection of this thing. You can have it back now. Lucia's terminal. Apart from the new message, there is nothing special. A decision has been made to return it to our commander. Once again, I would like to thank Greyhaven on behalf of my squad. It was Lee and Liv who found you. You should thank them. I will. Among the crowd, a girl constructor is coming to the front desk of the hospital. Hi there. What can I do for you? Are you looking for the construct department? No. The girl shakes her head. Her presence is so weak that it feels like she will disappear into the crowd in the next instant. Could you please tell me where Mr. Kukawa Coroner? Someone is gazing upon her from far behind. She's not noticed it. Ishmael. Can't go work. That was it. She didn't seem to be interested in joining us. In fact, she was struggling against it. Did you used to see this coming, Mr. Flanagan? You did not answer. He's probably thinking she's a retard. He's probably thinking, out of everyone I could recruit, you're probably like the worst person I've ever recruited. Why did you set a test that I would be able to pass? That was harsh. Not really. I have a basic understanding of their purpose and abilities. More importantly, I need to confirm whether she would intervene with our upcoming plan. Besides, that would make you work even harder to complete the other tasks, don't you think? Liv opens her palm. A storage unit lies on it. I wouldn't be able to catch it from the endless sea of data, my dear auntie didn't generously share the key with me. Flanagan takes the storage unit from Liv. He puts it in front of his eyes, admiring it like a piece of treasure. Pardon my rudeness, but there's a small question I'd like to ask. What do you plan to do with this sample? There's a promise from long ago that I need to honor. You did well in the test. We're almost ready to awaken Sinfla. What about the Forsakens? Shall we keep going? Their leader is quite sharp. He's already begun investigating.
No need to worry. They don't have time for us.
Are you talking about those deserters from Babylonia?
Not only them, but to a certain extent, all the events and conflicts could be attributed to one thing to begin with.
Autonomy looks at the newly piled up mound in front. He puts a paper flower on it.
We wouldn't have been able to stop the kidnapping without the intelligence sent us. What, Walker? Your sacrifice will not be in vain. One day, regional orders will be restored on this land.
Autonomy looks up. Old and new burial mounds line up in the cemetery with paper flowers on each one of them. The ashes of the sacrifice merge with the sand under the mounds, returning to this land. He remembers everybody's name here. Nothing is forgotten. I'll see you later. Next time, I'll bring some good news. Watanabe rises to his feet and leaves the small cemetery.
Boss, we have newcomers.
Help them settle down first. Don't forget to verify the identities.
Got it, but I'm afraid we don't have enough people to train them. I mean, we aren't much better than the new recruits ourselves.
It would be quite a challenge for us to take care of so many newcomers.
I'll go to the training camp myself. Another senior of mine will also come to help them train.
Or senior. I thought you were the senior enough, leader.
Of course.
I respect him a lot. Autonomy said with a complex look, but he didn't reveal that person's name. Is there anything else I need to know?
It's about the clean zone. Babylonia has sent someone here again.
It's only a matter of time before they come again. I just didn't expect them to be so impatient.
Where are they now? Take me to them.
The closed doors of the Science Council are now open. Oh, hello, Sod. Hi, Rosa.
This isn't your appointment time.
I'm just passing by. I wanted to say thank you.
Lucia's situation was the Science Council's responsibility. I just did what I should.
Did more than that. Hearing your words, as well could not help but stop.
Rosa?
Yes? Go to the archives room. I want to copy all these records related to mind overload in the experiments library. Ah, I see. Slightly anxious, Rosa rushed out immediately. When will I get to finish going through so many records? She mumbled. When did you guess that? During the conversation just now.
Right.
I was the one who added the encrypted comms address. So why are you here? Just to say thank you. You put a storage unit in Asimov's hand. What's this? Asimov pupils contract silently. It was obviously guessed something. It's the record of the experiments of Full Winter. You should submit it to Commander Nikolai. It's just a backup. Why did you do that? You've always stayed neutral. For to do something so risky. This must be something that you really want. I'll take it for now. Can I ask a question? Bring it on. What will you do with this data? Whether it's the army of Corona, they always withhold some information sharing it with the Science Council. Not to mention, the real purpose is used to information to advance their plans. In a way, it makes the Science Council their accomplice. Perhaps the President wants to stop Project Winter through politics, but as long as someone still hopes to exploit this project for their own good, it can only be a matter of time before it's restarted. Are you trying to end Project Winter completely? Right, but in a scientific way. The only way to completely crush the hope is to prove it is wrong from the roots, which is why this complete information comes just the right time. What about you? What is your goal? I don't want to see the same things happen again. This is Lucia, from Grey Raven. The following recording is not subject to any form of corrosion or interference. It's only my own volition. My frame has developed unprecedented abnormal symptoms, which can cause you to hurt my commanded. Based on the message left by the escort team and my own evaluation, I cannot guarantee when I will completely out of control before the problem is resolved. In order to avoid irreversible consequences or prevent innocent people from being hurt before I can fix this issue of myself, I, Lucia, would like to step down as captain of Grey Raven. know this terminal will probably be discovered by the Purifying Force team who escorted me. If you can, please pass my words to Lee, Liv, and my commander. I will safely return, no matter how long it will take me. That's all. You don't grip the terminal, which is already getting warm in your pocket. In the same team now. You reach out to Asimov. After a brief moment of hesitation, Asimov's hand grasps yours. It feels a little cold. Alrighty, something is to take away from this. Lucius stepping down from Captain of Grey Raven? That was a surprise. I know she would feel bad. But that's a big step. The only one who can replace her as captain would be Lee. And also now the commander of the Raven is now going to work with the Science Council. Well, Asimov of the Science Council. The Science Council, it's got all members of all departments. So let's have a look. There's Chrono, which has its own factions. You got Colin's factions and the other guy, which I've got his name. And the old members. Then you've got Hansen, the president, and Nikolai, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Of the military. Of course, the military is beholden to them, because essentially they're the ones in charge. A lot of politics are going on. A lot of stuff is going on. So, that was a mixed story. The ending was fitting. Its beginning was good. But near the end, the climax, I don't like where Punishing Ray Raven's direction is going. It's becoming rather iffy. Well, anyway, I will be ending the stream there, and I'll be seeing you all next time. I will actually be streaming again, Mein Sonntag, my Sunday, and I also will be streaming on pretty much Saturday in Europe, in North America, in Americas, in the Western Hemisphere. I'll be doing another Crusader Kings 3 stream with Catbox, hopefully with Melon and DJ Fire, because Catbox wants to do it before he goes on his trip. Anyway, thank you for tuning into the stream. I need to check if we've got enough people to raid. Nah. Anyway, hope you all take care and good luck, and I'll see you all again in the future. See you next time.